Hello students, today we are going to learn about the syllable. I am Professor Govind Prasad Goyal, Program Coordinator at IMS Law College, Noida. In this video, we are going to discuss about the definition of syllable, the constituents and the components of the syllable, and nature of syllable, structure of syllable, and types of syllable structure and conclusion. First and foremost thing which we may start with the definition of O'Connor and Trim. In 1953, he defined syllable as a minimal pattern of phoneme combinations. So as we know that every sound, the 44 sounds as they are in phonetics. So in phonetics, these are the actually phonemes, and according to O'Connor and Trim, syllable is a phoneme combination with a vowel as a nucleus preceded and followed by a consonant unit or permitted consonant combination. Labour in 2000 has defined syllable as a complex unit made up of nuclear and marginal elements, where nuclear elements refer to the vowels and the marginal elements refer to the consonant. But you must be very much clear about it that there may be a only single vowel, and that single vowel is also considered to be a syllable. While Scandra and Verley sustain that syllable can be probably defined as the smallest rhythmic unit of So Scandra and Verley sustain that syllable can be probably defined as the smallest rhythmic unit of spoken language. For example, or a unit that is typically larger than a single sound is smaller than a word. So they believe that a syllable can be defined in different way. Now let's move on to the constituents of the syllable. Syllable is structurally divisible into three constituents: the onset, which is also called as a releasing factor, and then nucleus, which is a vowel, and coda. Coda means the final consonant, maybe a single consonant or there may be cluster of consonants. Nucleus and coda taken together is referred to as a rhyme. It has a basis on the prosodic properties of the speech. Although many syllables contain all three units, a significant proportion contain only one or two. Now let's move on to the nature of syllable. Roach states that phonetically we look at the way we produce the syllable and the way they sound. We'll notice that syllables are usually described as consisting of a center which has little or no obstruction to airflow and which sounds comparatively louder. However, before and after this center, that is at the beginning and end of the syllable, there will be greater obstruction to airflow or less loud sound. So as we know that whenever we articulate the vowel sound, there is no interruption caused by the articulators, and the airflow is very smooth, and the passage of the air is having no obstruction. But on the other hand, if we articulate the consonant sound, there is a lot of interruption caused by the articulators, because the active articulator is making a contact with the passive articulator, then they stop the air, and then air is suddenly released in certain consonant like plosives. So there will be greater obstructions to airflow or less loud sound in the coda as well as in the onset. Onset is also technically called as a releasing factor, and the coda is called as a arresting factor. In the same aspect, Scandra and Verley sustain that phonetically a syllable can be described as having a center, also called peak or nucleus, which is produced with little or no obstruction of air and is therefore usually formed by a vowel, either a monophthong or diphthong. Now let's move on to the structure of the syllable. Technically, the basic element of syllable are onset, one or more consonant, and the rhyme. Rhyme is consisting of nucleus and coda. The rhyme, sometimes written as a rhyme, R-I-M-E, consists of a vowel and which is treated as the nucleus plus any of the following consonants described as the coda. The structure of the syllable can be shown as follows. You can have a look at it. Syllable, and then first part of it is onset, and then rhyme. Rhyme, if we rhyme is consisting of two part: peak or nucleus, and coda. So but you may be very much sure about it that you may be clear about it that onset and coda are not necessary. There may be only nucleus, even then it is called as a syllable. Now let's move on to the types of structures of syllable in English language. And there is a V type. V type means only that there is a vowel sound like I, A, and A. So in this, what is happening, there is only vowel sound, even then it is being called as a syllable. Now CV type. In CV type, in the onset there is a one consonant, or there may be a a cluster of consonant, maybe a 2 or 3 consonant in the initial position. But you must be very much remember this thing, that in the initial position there will be maximum of cluster of 3 consonants, and in the final position there may be maximum 4 consonants. Like in T, CV structure is there. CCV like sky, SKY. See here, S and K both are consonant, then I is a diphthong. So it is a CCV structure. Then let's move on to the next one, is CCCV. So here are a cluster of 3 consonant in the initial position. In the onset, S in the straw word, STRAW. And see here in the transcription, STR. S is consonant, T is consonant, R is also consonant, and O is vowel sound. And as such, in the initial position, as I have told you earlier, there cannot be a cluster of more than 3 consonant. So this structure is not available as CCCV. On the other hand, in the coda, there may be a cluster of 4 consonant in certain words. Like in it, we can see that there is a VC structure, and then VCC in ink, and VCCC in acts, and CVC PUT put, PUT. See here, P is consonant and U is vowel sound and T is consonant. So P is in the initial position, which is also called onset, and U sound is this is a nucleus, and Ta is a coda, which is in the final position, or arresting factor is there. Then comes CVCC like tucked. Why tucked is being pronounced? Because K is a voiceless consonant, and voiceless consonant, when it is being followed by EED as a suffix, then it is also turning to be the voiceless. So Ta is voiceless and Da is voiced, as we have learnt it earlier, or you may just refer to it. And then comes CVCCC. Here is a in the final position there is a cluster of 3 consonant in the final position or in coda, like facts. And then comes CVCCC, and in CVCCC, in like text, like 12s, like sculpts, like 6th, prompts, you'll find that there is only, as we have told earlier, that there may be a cluster of 4 consonant in the coda or final position. And then comes there may be also CCVCCCC, like in 12s, TWE. So in 12s, TWEs both are a consonant cluster of 2 consonant in the initial position, and then comes a consonant cluster of 4 consonant in the final position. Then let's move on to CCVC, like tries, flies. In tries you may see that TR are both consonant, and then comes the nucleus I, and J is consonant again. So structure is CCVC. And then CCCVC, like straight. Here are a cluster of 3 consonant in the initial position, like STR, and then comes nucleus, and lastly is Ta. Ta is also consonant. And then CCC, as we have discussed earlier, that there cannot be any cluster of 4 consonant in the initial position. So in conclusion, it can be safely concluded that much attention needs to be paid to syllable structure in English language, as it is necessary to help in pronunciation of words correctly. Thank you so much. Have a nice learning.